Shalom, shalom, and shalom, Sister Deborah. Coming this early morning with a short message. I'm coming this morning with a short message regarding two things. One, I woke up at 5 this morning and I lie there in the bed and I begin to think, what can I bring forth that would shine so bright? What can I bring forth that would shine so bright? The Spirit wanted me to understand in this type of darkness that we are in this type of day that's like no other that we are in, don't look for the brightest light in such a dark day. Don't even think that there's such a brighter light in a time, which is in this day that we are in today. Don't try to bring the brighter out of so much darkness, because what it does is it interferes with you mentally, physically, because you tend to want to bring in something that cannot be done. Now you can bring in the hope for tomorrow, but trying to shine something bright on all this darkness, he said, no, don't even try. So I thank the Father for allowing me to get that in that fullness, that because it seems like you're bringing many warnings and many things to cause one to see what is before them. And what he's saying is, don't go bringing light to take a place of what is before them, because he can't. These things need be. These things are written. This is my will, my way. So don't look for the brightness, the sun to shine bright on this much darkness. It was said it would be like the days of Noah. It would be like the days of Sodom and Gomorrah. It will be the day of tribulation, Deborah. It'll be the day of sorrow, perilous times. Deborah, it will be like the day of lawlessness. It will be like the day of judgment. It'll be like the day of my fears. So what brightness can you bring to that outside of warning people to come in out of the darkness into the marvelous light? Walk therein what is spirit and what is truth. So he don't want me to bring a brightness and bring the sun out to try to brighten up such a dark day. For heavens has written it to be what it is. Last night, before I went to bed, I received a message, and I know it's an awesome message because it did something to me from the inside. I felt so special. I felt so special. And as I was listening to this video, I knew that I was special. I knew I was. Just listening to this video, I knew I was special. This video was talking about something that was taken out. It wasn't placed in the Bible, and it was in the scrolls, but it's not in the Bible, and it's nowhere to be found in the Bible. And then he began to talk about they took it out because it was what caused Satan to buckle when you speak it. And I'm like, that's about right. I'm serious. And I'm like, okay, that is so much like right, you know. And as he was talking, I thought about messages that I put forth explaining to people just that, how the ball has been dropped. The ball that has been dropped means a lot of things, you guys. It means there's things you have not heard, nor have you seen, nor have you understood, okay, that has not been spoken unto thee, okay, and you were not aware of because they dropped the ball. Now, the problem with the ball being dropped, Yah written it that way. So the ball was to be dropped, and Yah knew it. You see, the ball was dropped, and he was fully aware that it would have been this, and I'm like, you had it written? Yes. Yes. So this is not something that Sister Deborah's getting on here speaking to you and hope that you could pick up the ball and run with it. Oh no. It's showing you. This is the brightness that he's telling you that is only worth receiving in darkness. It's spirit and truth. Okay? That's the brightest you're going to get. Spirit and truth. If you don't get spirit and truth while you strolling through this YouTube, you better understand who you are. Because if people are not speaking spirit and truth with the light in their right hand, and you're entertaining them, see, a lot of people feel content because they can get on there and they can speak, they can say something, they can get added to the crowd. You're right. You need to get added to the broad gate. So go and sign your name in and show up, and every time you can, and show out. But I, Sister Deborah, want to bring this message this morning. And I want to say unto you all that me looking at this video last night, I'm happy. I'm happy. The only thing that I think about is how you can be so onto the, or so, onto the right road and the right lane to the point that everybody else is somewhere else. So I'm sitting here listening to this video last night, and he began to teach how things were not placed in the Bible that was in the scrolls. And there's certain things that wasn't placed because Satan didn't want them to place that in the book, because if they knew what it meant, or if they say that, then he would have to flee at a distance. I agree with that 100%. I 100% agree with that. And I've been trying to teach the best of my ability that the Ruach suffered me to do so. I agree because I know that the things that was in the scrolls are not the things that one seeth in the King James Bible. King James Bible, King James 16. A lot of things in there when it talks about, and Yah said, the Son of Man said, those things you could actually feel the Ruach telling you when, okay, this is okay. This is true. This is true. See, the Ruach is so needed in us to teach us all things. We can't accept everything man put together and just assume it is from the heavens when the world has been deceived by Satan. So then, can the world be deceived by Satan if the world is speaking the kingdom? No, they can't. They can't be deceived by Satan. Satan's mission to deceive the whole world cannot be accomplished. Okay? If the whole world had the strolls themselves. People don't get it, Father. Yeah. So this video I was watching, he began to tell everything that, not everything, the power therein, the strolls of words that Satan made sure that it wasn't written in the study guide, which is the Bible and whatever, King James Bible, whatever. Because one thing Yah did is he allowed them to do the wicked and evil and place different things in there to steer everything away. Why would you do that, Father? Why would you allow Satan to have that authority to switch the thing that the book that everybody is going to be running to, and you allowed him to switch it in a way that people can't really find their way? He said because it was for those who couldn't find their way. That's what the book is really for. Because I, myself, is the word. I'm the way. And I've already told them, Deborah, when I come in them, I would lead them, Deborah. I would guide them. I would show them the way, Deborah. I would teach them all things. I will be their comforter. I will bring things to their remembrance. I will show them things to come. I would be all that they need. This is why I didn't have any issues with Satan's printing up and adding and taking away, but I made sure I let him know. Leave the light on. 99.15 billion will know what leaving the light on. Because when I send minds and they're studying it, some things they need to study that is truth. They're studying, waiting, tarrying for the Holy Ghost, the Ruach HaKodesh, waiting for the Holy Ghost, the Ruach HaKodesh to enter in to be all that book cannot be. But they always would have a study guide. Have you ever thought of how you go on a job and they give you a workbook, a company book where you can learn everything in there to be a bunch of lies? They don't even abide by the rules and regulations that's in their own company guideline. You see? You go to a college, they'll give you a books, and you be paying hundreds and hundreds of dollars for those books just to borrow them, but you got to turn them back in. You see? So if you think that the world and the Jesuits, who have set up science and scholars and these elite colleges and all this, they started education. And this book is the reason why you got so many different denominations coming out of it. The Muslim hooping and hollering, but they didn't went into the book and rewrote their own book. And a lot of things in the King James Bible is in their Holy Quran. Wait a minute. A man said something that was so powerful. Oh, it was so powerful. He said, now, is Islam, they believe in whatever they believe in, and they say whatever they want to say. How is it Jesus is coming to save Islam? And Islam What he say is Islam is not waiting for, they believe in Muhammad. So how can Islam say that Jesus is coming to save them? It was something like that. I'm gonna have to get that packed down so I can. I'm gonna have to do that on another video. But when he said it made so much sense, and that's with every religion that's thinking something is coming to save them. How could you have a belief that's way on the left, way on the deep end, thinking the one that's on the right gonna come save you on the deep end? You ain't serving that individual. You ain't worshiping that individual. You ain't exalting and praising that individual, but that individual come to save you. So I'm gonna have to get deeper, and I'm gonna bring that video up. I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna bring it up so you can understand what he's saying, so you can hear what he's saying. It's just a very powerful statement that was said. And I said, now see there, that'll stop every last religion in their tracks. It'll stop them in their tracks. But the Jesuits started all these religions, y'all. And people, just like they started all the colleges, all the everything, they the ones started all this. I don't get why even Islam, why they can't figure that out. You all never knew how, let me get back on my topic. I'm going to say this here. How Farrakhan, you see how they step back in the back. Farrakhan, the Muslims, they don't stand for their own tribe, Judah. But not Farrakhan them. But I can think about days when he was ill and the doctors told him he wasn't going to make it. And he said he prayed to Jesus Christ. And he paid him a visit and told him that if he let him live, he said, if you let me live, I will serve thee. That's why Farrakhan speak of Jesus, because he knows on his deathbed, he said he would serve him. And he took on and lied. Those Islam, they're not for their nation of tribes. They're for their religion. People are going to die and lose their eternal, all in the name of a religion that they have placed their living up under for eternal. And that's even you out there. Don't get wrapped up in the Hebrew Israelite religion and the way that they teach us and believe and don't get wrapped up in it, baby. Because I see more. I didn't know it was that many coming out of the woodwork, just coming out. Or you got to say a name this way. You got to dress this way. A woman not just with that same old. Oh my goodness. They're booming, y'all. When Sister Deborah woke up this morning, she couldn't even go back to sleep. I woke up early at 5. And all the cares of the world was on me. All I could think about is how the world is in a position where there's no turning back. It's no turning back. You can't turn back you can't sit in night and turn back to that early day. You can't. So what I listened to last night, the man was talking about what they had taken out of the strolls. And I, Sister Deborah, truly can say I can salute that individual 100 in the Father allowing that individual to upload that so that I, Sister Deborah, will, when I glide through, there it is. It's there for me to assure me you've been in the right lane, Deborah. You've been on the right road all the time. Now, Sister Deborah has a way of how she speaks. the way she put things out, even her facial impression, and my squeaky voice, my loud voice, my bold voice. Okay. And I put things out that is in me. And I put it out that way because something is so greater in me that don't want me to put it out like they're putting it out into the world. And that's how they're winning you over. They're winning you over looking away. They winning you over knowing how to pronounce words a certain way. They winning you over the way they look, the way they carry themselves, the humbleness from the flesh. But Sister Deborah ain't got time for that. You know why? I don't have no time at all. I'm on that day. Okay? So I'm in a place where the days of Noah, just think about that. The day of Noah, every imagination of a man was wicked and evil. I'm there, baby. That's where I'm at in my seeing, understanding. The day of Solomon and Gomorrah. I'm there, y'all. I don't know where you at and where you going. You can go on your whichever way you can. But I'm there. I can't make the Most High will a lie. I'm here for his will, the purpose of his will. I'm his servant in his will. Okay. So this book, this man was talking, this video, let me just say this video was talking about something that was taken out of the scrolls and never placed in the Bible. I, Sister Deborah, salute that 100. I already know all about that. But he said something that was powerful, and I try to bring it forth like the Ruach, bring it out of me, okay? And when he said that, I thought about all these years speaking that and how this is truly like the days of Noah and the warning, of to the people, the signs of warning people. You're not going to escape it. Okay. This is a day that one will not escape. I won't escape. You won't escape. So you either need to be about who you are and walk therein and stop portraying to be on one side when you know that you're assigned to another. You can stop it because it's not going to benefit you eternal. You see? So if you know that you don't walk on one side, but you walk on the other, don't get in the way. Go on your way and let you do what you do best, because that's what is written regarding you already in the kingdom. So it doesn't matter how you straddle the fence, and how you portray you're in there and you understand that day and you in there with the Most High. It's not that flesh, y'all. Let me just say that. So I want to share with you all what he said. Not what he said, but what was said in this video. Very, very powerful. And I'm going to take it with me to my grave. I'm going to take this with me to my grave. Why? Because I know that the Father played a big role in this, because we're in the end days. That which were in the dark shall come to the light in the last days. And being grateful, I appreciate the Most High Yah allowing me to know the things that I'm knowing and that He's revealing unto me and allowing me to hear His teaching in me. I give Him all glory and all praise. And let me knock this out the ballpark. So this video was talking about the main thing that Satan made sure was not in the Bible. Okay. It was in the scrolls, but it wasn't found in the Bible. And it was something that he knows one could use that would keep him far distance away. He's very afraid. Now, Sister Deborah has taught on this platform about spirit and truth and the light. this individual last night, this video last night was speaking of something that was missing, and it's called the Book of Light. The Book of Life, of Light, Light, the Book of Light. He said that it was taken out because in the Book of the Light, it tells you about the light. See, told you. And I was thinking, first thing I said, I was just teaching them about the light. But see, it goes back to what he said. The ball has been dropped, and I knew it was dropped. I knew the day, the minute, the second, the hour of each ball that was dropped. I didn't pick it up and hand it back to him because mine's already had truth in them when they left here. You see, that's what those brains were for. So this video was talking about there is a book that was missing called the Book of Light, Light. He says that the breath of life and the light of the breath is what Satan would run from. Because that rests the power. When it is spoken, the breath of light, the light of breath, Satan runs from. Because that's where the power is at. And it was never placed in the King James Bible. So it was never taught to the people. Even if it was taught, they still wouldn't use it. They abuse it, but they wouldn't use it. They will abuse it, but they wouldn't use it. They would abuse it, but they wouldn't use it. To know that, for me, it's where I've always been. The light, spirit, and truth. I explained to each and every last one of you all since you even been on this page. The breath of life is a spirit. It is the image of Yah. He is the capital light and you are the lowercase light. He's giving you a spirit like unto his image of a light, a spirit. So it all makes sense for it to have been out of the Bible. I've told you all, they did this way back in the beginning. That's why that Adam and Eve story is not even true. All you don't know until Yah's servants come and bring light to spirit and truth. Not to spirit and truth. Bring light in the midst of all this teaching darkness or darkness. So he was speaking of the breath of light and the light of breath. I said, I got it. I got it. It just done something to me. He said, that's in the scrolls. And what I'm doing down here? Not down here, but what am I doing on the earth? Speaking the same thing. Without the scrolls. Without what they put in the scrolls. You see? See, Yah comes to live in those that he has willed as his servant. See, a lot of people think you his servant and you got a job to do and you just got to do this. No, he lives in you. Teaching you, revealing things to you, showing you things, comforting you, giving you the power, putting long suffering and endurance in your flesh so you can run this race. So he called it the Book of Light. the book of light is missing from the King James Bible because it teaches all about the breath of light and the light of breath. It's just the idea of the breath of life being spoken and the light of breath being spoken causes Satan to flee. You see? You see what I'm saying? And they're in these sanctuaries, these temples, these churches, all on YouTube, Instagram, Patriot, Rumble, Twitter, YouTube, all in these synagogues, these churches, these cathedrals, I think that's how I pronounce it right, and these places of worship, all kind of places. But what are you teaching in these buildings? What are you teaching to these spirits? You see? What is it? The true teacher is the one that come live in you and teach you all things. These are the things that in which we should have been tarrying for. And wait, which tarrying mean wait on him that comes to give you his spirit. But no one today waited. They just assume and wants to say, I don't need it. I already have it. Do you really believe the days of Noah, all those people didn't see fit to need anything that he had to offer them? They saw fit that they were already in there. Surely they thought that they already got what they needed. Every imagination was wicked and evil in the day of Noah. Sodom and Gomorrah, he couldn't find one, even Lot and his daughters. They wasn't even considered right. He couldn't find one. That's why they got up when Lot and his daughter, they got to the point where they started doing things like they were doing in Sodom and Gomorrah. Nothing no different. See? So that shows you, Deborah, I don't care who you talking to. You cannot change the people. No matter how long they followed, no matter how long they're in there. Even taking Lot and his daughters out was taking Sodom and Gomorrah out, starting it all over again. Because they were no different. They brought it out. In case y'all didn't know that. They brought it out. Look at Noah. He had 3 sons. Whatever evil and wicked imagination individual were having, Noah's sons brought it out. They brought it out. I know you never heard of it because let me not go there. I started to say something. They brought it out. Yes. Notice Noah was in his tent. Just take his 3 sons and put them to the side. What was Noah doing in the tent? Why was Noah naked? And what was Noah doing? Noah. What was he doing? Come on. See, a lot of people think what the lady said, that their maneuver don't stink. Really, people really think that they are so, what do they call it? In there, they so rooted. Well, this is why Sister Deborah bring the type of messages that she bring forth. And this is why very few shall find their end, the narrow gate. Because that same reason still exists today. People are falling the multitude in the way of darkness. And they don't have no problem. They don't look at the fact that if he said today going to be like the days of Noah or the days of Solomon and Gomorrah, what is that telling you? First and foremost, he wants you to first understand the wicked and evil. It's trying to tell you about the level of wicked and evil. When it speaks of the day of Noah, many of you all would think that when he brought Noah and his 3 sons, truly started over again, but did you understand he was still bringing it out? He's bringing it out. He destroyed the world. Nothing that he brought Noah and his family out survived the flood just to start it all over again. Come on, people. Don't think that my Father don't know what he's doing. This is, to me, shows me that he have always branded his. There's not going to be not one that we're not seeing, because sin is something they will do, even if they are branded. The purpose of branding them is to make sure those are the ones that he bring back home, because they didn't ask to come here to play with Satan. They were sent down here. So just listening to that man talk about the book of light, and it speaks on the power of the breath of light and the light of the breath. Very powerful. Those are words Satan runs from. That was not put in your study guide, the Bible. He went on talking about it. He said the book of life talk about the blood of life. And I believe it, because when Sister Deborah is telling you about the light, you got to understand who that light is. Many of you all will let it fly over your head, and it's okay. It's okay. Everything is not for everybody. Let me just put it like that. Even though everybody might stand in the midst to hear everything is not for everybody. So I had Sister Deborah just want to just drop that little something this morning. I'm not going to hold you. And I will say, I wanted to come and shine some bright light in the midst of all this darkness. And the Father was explaining to me, how can you bring all the light into so much darkness? How can you can bring hope? And that's what I will talk about at 7 p.m. Central Time. Hope. You can bring the hope. You can speak on the hope. But trying to bring the sun to shine or trying to bring so much light onto all this darkness. Because the darkness, Deborah, is going to get darker, 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 darker. It's not going to get brighter and brighter and brighter and brighter. It's going to get darker, baby. So don't think that you can bring that type of light to in the midst of all this darkness. So even what I speak on, what I cover, and what I teach, I'm thinking in me that, okay, these are things you taught me, Father. I'm bringing it forth. It's not for everybody. Really, it's not. Many, the majority will listen, take heed to it, but it's not really something that's in them because it's not for them. You see? It's not in them, nor is it for them. So I agree with the video last night because the breath of the light and the light of the breath, and even he spoke of the blood of the light. All that makes a lot of sense to me. And maybe it's because it's in the spirit realm that I can understand it. And that's where it makes sense. But that's where it's important. It don't have to make sense to the world, because the world don't make sense to itself. And the reason why I wanted to bring some light to all this darkness, it's like this darkness is winning by a long shot, Father, y'all. It's so much darkness. This stuff that's out here is just so much of it. Sister Deborah going to have to go into her a fast, a prayer, a fast, and a prayer that's much needed, because it's just that dark out here, and you can mentally get caught up in the darkness itself, wanting to do away with the darkness, but you can't. So I guess this is where a lot of people can go cuckoo clock, because they're feeling that they can do away with some of this darkness if they say this, if they teach this, if they preach this, not knowing the darkness is here to stay. It has its day. And we ain't seen nothing yet. So I, Sister Deborah, hope you got something out of this short message this morning, because I did. And I will be back. And I will say shalom and shalom.